This video is going to discuss Bright Dust and how a Destiny 2 player can better manage this resource in the game. So the main reasons for this video are, well, there's a couple. Number one, I recently passed the 100k mark for Bright Dust, and it gave me an idea to make a video about this because when I'm watching weekly reset videos, especially when it's Eververse based, I see a lot of players, especially players with a lot of hours in the game. We're talking 7,000 hours, but they're low on Bright Dust. I see them, and they've got like 10. Most players have around about on average 10k Bright Dust. That's what I'm seeing. They have 10k Bright Dust, and then they're in the store, right? It's just hit 6 o'clock or whatever time you are for reset D2, and they're looking at the exotic emote, and they're like, "Should I buy it?" And they're asking their chat, "Should I buy this? What do you think? What do you think?" I'm like, "No, you shouldn't." Because you only have 10k Bright Dust. So if you buy this emote, that is a third of your savings gone, which then means that in the future you are liable to maybe buy silver. It's then going to maybe make you bite the bullet and buy silver, which in a game like Destiny 2, I recommend that you don't spend silver because of their pay structure that D2 does, the model that they use. So the model that they use is double dipping into two different pay structures. They're dipping into the free-to-play model of where, imagine a classic game that's free-to-play, say Warframe, where you can play for free, but there's cosmetics that are there, and there's ways and means of buying stuff. But the game's free-to-play, everything, right? But then you've got games that are AAA that launch, like God of War. It's a AAA game, right? It launches, you pay the money, you get the game. D2 also does that. You pay money, you get the latest stuff. But they're also double dipping into this free-to-play scheme as well. That's why I'm saying that I'm not a massive... Ethically, I don't like spending silver in the game. And there's limited times when I have spent silver. So for reference with silver, before we get on to Bright Dust, the silver, right? So if I was to get the biggest package for silver right now, that would be 80 quid. That would give me 12,000 silver. What would 12,000 silver buy for me? Well, what am I into the most? I'm into weapon ornaments the most. That is the most important thing to me for the Eververse store, right? 14,000 silver wouldn't even buy me, right? It wouldn't even buy 20 weapon skins. Like, isn't that a joke? It wouldn't even buy 20 because they're 700 silver each. So I wouldn't even get two pages worth. That's 80 quid. What else can you buy for 80 quid? You could buy another AAA game for 60 or 70 quid, right? Or better yet, you could buy Helldivers 2 for 35. Actually, you could buy it twice. One for yourself and one for your mate. And that would still be cheaper than 20 weapon ornaments in D2. So do you understand how expensive this is? That is a real life comparison showing you how expensive it is. On top of the fact that you've paid your yearly expansion deal, that you pre-ordered Final Shape and what have you, and your 4 seasons and your 3 episodes or whatever it is. So this is expensive. That's why I'm saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't support the game, but I'm saying that you shouldn't be buying silver in that amount because you're already supporting the game by buying it, right? So then you've got your Bright Dust. So this is going to be your primary source for most to be getting cosmetics with. So with Bright Dust, the biggest thing is establishing what you want out of the game. What do you want out of the store with your Bright Dust? Well, I'll just tell you how you get it first of all, because people are still sort of confused on the rates of what you get stuff. So I'll just rhyme this off quickly. And these numbers are rough. It's just what I found out online recently, right? The numbers could be slightly different, but to be honest, they kind of add up to what we're getting in the game now. So the table is as follows. Repeatable bounties. The bounties that we pick up, they're plus 10 Bright Dust. Ritual vendor challenges, which is Zavala and stuff, 120, but you can triple that by doing all 3 characters, so that would be 360. Then you got weekly event bounties, 200. Seasonal challenges, which is 75 to 300. Gifts of Bright Dust, which is 250 to 1,000. Large bundle of Bright Dust gift, 4,000. And then season pass ranks. If you're a premium paid owner, it's 10,500. If you're free to play, then it's 7,500. So you've got your figures there, right? The ones that you need to do out of them, right, is obviously there's the large Bright Dust gift. So what is that referring to? Well, there's your triumphs as well. So your triumphs will give you anywhere from 75 to 300, like I said, which you're going to do these anyways, because you need XP to level up your season pass. So at the start of a new season, you're going to do all this stuff. So you're going to passively get Bright Dust from doing these. So you need to make sure that you're doing these. But if you do enough of them, you get 4,000 Bright Dust, which for a player of only 10k Bright Dust or less, I would say even less than 20k, you need to be doing this. I don't need to because I've got 110k. I'm sitting happy. I can't bother doing these triumphs. I don't need to. For players with less amount of Bright Dust, you need to be doing them. And these are your biggest tips, right? So make sure that you do these. Then you got your season pass. So if you're a paid owner, it's near 11k. Add that to the 4k from the Bright Dust. That's 15k, right? Then you add the triumphs. You're looking at 16, 17k. And then you add some bounties in there, 18, 19 per season. That's based on your 3-month season. I know we're in a 6-month season, but that's not the point of the video. So you're looking at 19, 20k Bright Dust you're getting income, right? So then you look at those figures and then you say to yourself, right, well, what is it that I actually want from this store that I can get for free from it? Right, well, me as a player personally, I'm interested in weapon ornaments. This is the most important thing. You need to prioritize it. Think about it like this. If you're not spending silver, it's impossible for you to get everything. So just focus on the things that you really, really do want. For me, it's weapon ornaments because I feel as though they're cheap enough Bright Dust wise to make sure that I don't go in the negative. So if I'm earning 20k Bright Dust per season, if I'm only getting 6 or 7 weapon skins, I'm still not going to be spending more than what I'm getting. So that's why. But there's also another huge reason why I'm only into weapon skins, which I'll go into in a minute. Well, after this bit. So if you're into equipment like ships, sparrows, or even armor ornaments, or should we say armor sets, then this is going to up your Bright Dust. Especially if you want 3 sets. Like the 6k Bright Dust for the Dawning sets and the Guardian games when they come out. If you want all 3 sets, that's 18k Bright Dust. Because it's 6k each. So you realize that's nearly all your Bright Dust done, right? That means you need to farm some Bright Dust to make sure that you stay afloat and that you can buy other things as well. Because you can't just say I'm only going to buy armor sets, because there's going to be shaders come up. There's going to be ghosts come up that you want to buy. So you can't just say that. So for armor lovers, focus on your main class or focus on buying the best set that looks good to you. Right? Don't ever buy these with silver. They're very expensive. And I know there's this type of armor like Witcher sets and stuff. There's the God of War sets and stuff. You can buy that for silver, but it's really expensive, as I said. And I'll just give you a comparison of real life money on what you can spend on other things instead. So that's the thing about armor lovers, right? So let's look at what the Bright Dust sections on what you shouldn't spend on and what you should. So you've got concentrated matter gem. You can get this for cheap from the gunsmith for upgrade modules. So don't buy this. It is a waste of Bright Dust. Glimmer Shard. Never buy these because you've got Rainmakers in your inventory if you're a veteran. If you haven't got those, then just put on the Glimmer Ghost mod to farm Glimmer and you passively get a lot of Glimmer nowadays. Anyways, the big one is emotes. So like I said to you before, the example of a 10k Bright Dust player considering should I buy this emote and stuff, and he's asking his chat, should I buy this emote, right? And they're saying, yeah, buy it. And I'm like, no, because if you only got 10k Bright Dust and you've spent 3k, that's a third of your savings gone on such a insignificant item in the game. Emotes play no role in the game, really. apart from showing them off to your friends or what have you. So why would you spend so much on this? There's more to life than this, I feel, right? If you've been playing Destiny 2 for more than 12 months, then you should be swimming in emotes. You should have lots of emotes, even exotic emotes, because they drop from Eververse engrams, which is granted through natural leveling of XP. Now, my philosophy on emotes is that I have so many emotes that it feels like I own all emotes anyways. So why would I need to buy another one? I know that's such a objective black or white outlook, but think about it. Like I've got so many that I would never have the time to use all these. The only way I would have time to use all these is if I just sit in patrol and look at every one of them. That's not the way you play D2. You emote after you beat solo GM. And this is the emote for that. Right? I'm still using the Witch Queen emote, right? Been ages. So your seasonal pass emotes are generally the higher quality ones anyways. So if you are a premium pass owner and you're getting those emotes, they're better than the store ones anyways. But that's an objective outlook and it is opinion based. And that doesn't mean to say that I'm right on that. That's just what I think. That's two different things. And in any case, the best emote in the game is Royal Alignment because you can cheese solo GM. So there you go. This is the best one for glitching into walls. Not a lot of emotes do this. I mean, there is another one, the Vault of Glass one does, but other than that, there's not a lot. But that's just me just being sarcastic about it all. So going back to the store, right? You got the transmat effects. Now, this is just going to impact 1 second, 2 seconds of your gameplay when you spawn and die and what have you. Crucible, yeah, I can see a little bit of use there, but 450 Bright Dust, this is way too much for this. I feel as though you shouldn't be buying these. That's just me. But if you really, really wanted to push the boat out, then buy one a month, one every season or something at the max. If you're buying armor sets, you've got no room for spent wasting on this. You've got to buy armor sets. You got to buy that. You got to buy this. So you wouldn't have the brightest for this. Shaders, yes. Because that you're going to do fashion in D2 for free, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, where you don't spend silver and you just do it for free. Shaders are so important to making your Guardian look better. Like there was 3 weeks ago, a good shader came out. No, sorry, it was maybe longer than that, maybe at Christmas. A really good shader come out and everyone's going wild about it. Buy them, right? You can do your transmog and make your character look really good with shaders. They make a huge impact on armor sets. 300 is fair, I think, for most shaders, so you buy them. Any that you don't have, and if it's a shader that you kind of like, still buy it because it might drastically look different on another armor set. So it's important that you buy the shaders. I would definitely say that. Then you got page 2 of Bright Dust, so it repeats the same but just with more items. So you got another exotic emote, same amount, far too much, like 3k for this. What is this? I don't even know what he's doing. Folding paper up? No, right? Now there's an argument to be made for legendary emotes because they're cheaper, and some of the legendary emotes sometimes are as good as an exotic one. This one isn't. It's a bad example of it. So yeah, maybe you would buy one or two, but that's it, max. Going to the ghosts. Now, I'm swimming in exotic ghost shells, and again, you should be, even if you played only 12 months, you should have loads. And you can make them, you can shade them, you can put projections on them, make them look a little better. But listen, you're not using your ghost enough, right, to really invest in it. It's not like where you're playing with a companion in Warframe or you're playing, where you've got a skin on your companion and he's floating above you the entire time and you can see him. You'd only just pulling your ghost out to scan something, or if it's dark, you can see your ghost, right? So it's just when you pull your ghost out to summon your sparrow. Granted, arcade shells like a really good shell, like it's tempting me to even buy it, but don't be buying too many shells, right? Um, in my opinion. But if you're an average shell person, then just focus on shells then, because if you want to collect them all, it's going to cost you a lot. That means you're going to sacrifice armor and weapon skins and stuff, which in my opinion, the armor and weapon skins are more important than a shell. I'm prioritizing it. Then we got ships. So you got your Eververse ships. They're 2,000 silver, 2,000 brightest each. Some of them might be more. I'm not sure. It depends. Again, it depends on what you. I will say that ships makes a little bit more sense because you're in orbit, you're flying to zone, and when you're in orbit and you see a good ship, it's quite satisfying, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, invest maybe in getting a good ship, but I will say this is more veteran-based players. If you have a ship that is bought from Eververse and it does look good, that is fine and all, but it has no meaning in the game. So if you look at the ship right here, it has a story behind it, which therefore I value this ship because it has a story behind it on the way I got it. This will go the same for a raid ship or what have you, right? So I value these ships much more than an Eververse ship because buying something just feels cheap. Whereas you earned it through something, right, then I feel good about it because another player will look at it and say, oh, he was around in 2018 during that mission, whatever it was called, Whisper, right? There you go. And then that just like makes me want to wear this ship. So that's my thought process around it, is that, I'm happy with just using a couple of different ships. There are some amazing looking ships, right? So just stick to a couple of different ships. You will get bored of them, but just swap out your favorite ones. You don't need to keep buying, new ships and stuff. Then you've got your sparrows, right? Same thing goes. Like I say, sparrows. You could argue that the season pass gives you a sparrow every season, so why would you need a new one all the time? They're all 190 speed anyways, so the 2.5K too much in my opinion. But if you're an average sparrow collector, you'd have to prioritize it and then stop getting so much other things. Now we come to exotic armor ornaments. Now I think these are important to get. If you main a hunter, a warlock, or whatever it is, and you're using a certain exotic piece all the time, having a good ornament on it is going to make you feel better about using it. Like, look, we got Star Eater skills. Does the ornament make it that much different that it looks like a different piece? In this case, yes. So I would buy this, and I will end up buying it. 1500 Bright Dust is worth it for this, right? It's augmenting a very popular exotic at the minute. But if the exotic isn't popular, then I wouldn't ornament it. Personally, because I'm not getting much benefit out of seeing that because it's stuck in the vault. That's how I look at things. Then you got your ghost projections. 1500 Bright Dust for this. I wouldn't pay this. This is a rip-off. Don't be spending it on them. I feel as though people aren't. Like I said, make sure you buy the shaders and stuff, even if you kind of like them, right? So that's a rundown of that. But like I said before, I'm primarily a player that likes the weapon ornaments. I prioritize those, right? So if I'm going to prioritize weapon ornaments, right, then I need to look at Eververse Store, the Eververse Calendar. So it's called Today in Destiny. It's a website called Today in Destiny. You go on there and the Eververse Calendar will tell you the items available for Bright Dust this season. So if there is an item that you're really chasing for, check that calendar. If it's on there, then just check each week, right? Eventually that item will come up. You can't check week to week anymore. You used to be able to check dates. You can't do that anymore. You can just check the full season because they nerfed the API for this to stop people data mining Eververse calendars in ahead. But they're kind of still data mined, just they're not dated. So the reason why I prioritize weapon ornaments over anything else in the game is the most simplest reason that you could think of. I'll launch the game to show you. So what is Destiny 2? Destiny 2 is a first-person shooter game. It is not, like, think of the camera. What is the camera? First person means first person, right? It means that you see your gun, your hand, and the world, right? It isn't bird's eye view. I'm not seeing the top of my head. It's not third person. This is not a third person shooter. However, third person does activate when you're in the tower or when you wear a sword like this. So if you are investing in armor sets, fair enough, you're going to see it a little bit when you use a sword. But to be honest, when you're swording, are you looking at your armor? Not really. You're looking at killing the boss. Yeah, so that's not an argument to be made for. So what you do see during gameplay, so you could argue that gauntlets, you can see gauntlets. All right then, we'll get the best gauntlets because you ain't going to see anything else whilst you're doing DPS, are you? But what you are seeing is your gun. It takes up a third of your screen or more depending on the gun. Now the ornaments are important for certain guns because they change the way the ADS works or looks. Sometimes you can make them more busy or less busy, and in PvP this can be a big difference. In PvE also, let's take for example Arbalist. This is your stock Arbalist. If I put on the Fallen ornament, this changes the way the gun looks, and the sight. The sight's a little different. It might be a bit more busier than what the stock loadout was, but this is nice, a nice change. It's like this is impacting your gameplay. I don't care what anyone says. This is impacting my quality of life in the game because I'm looking at a gun that I kind of like right now. It's the same for like Anarchy and stuff, right? I take another gun, Izanagi's Burden, very important gun in the game, right? This is what it looks like. But when we change it, right, to an ornament like Cloud Strife with the Buster Sword on it, look at how different it is. This is massive. So now it looks like I've got a sword gun. Sword sniper, right? So that's insane. Things like that, right? I value ornaments on guns that make the experience look a little different. You know, that's insane, that one, right? We put on this Quicksilver, right? When you're playing, right, it looks insane. Yeah, it isn't changing gameplay per se, but it's a quality of life that I like. So weapon skins are a prioritize for me. So I'm a person that will pick them up weekly if a new one pops up, especially if it's a weapon that I'm using a lot of. So that's my piece on that. I recommend, because it's a first-person shooter game, you should prioritize weapons. I think that's straightforward. What I will say is with the armor situation, I've made my hunter look bad, by the way, on purpose, just to poke fun at the whole fashion in D2 thing, right? So with D2, you can do the fashion in D2 for free. How do you do that? Well, you use the transmog system where you do the bounties off Ada and you get synthwave straps. It's a poor system, I'll admit that, but it is there and you can make a lot of different sets with a limited amount of armor. So let's take, for example, the Hunter. I haven't got a lot unlocked. I could unlock a lot more if I wanted to, right? But I have enough armor in the transmog system to make at least 1,000 different hunters. Because once you add the layer of shaders, this can revolutionize your look, especially if it's a really good shader. I mean, obviously I'm using bad armor on purpose here just to troll, but that's what I'm saying. So if you have, say, 20 gauntlets, 20 chest plates, 20 this, 20 that, you can make so many different variations of your hunter that I will never be unsatisfied. Yeah? So why should I then go to the Eververse store to then waste 6,000 Bright Dust? Right? Because, listen, you're spending 6k on armor that you don't see because it's a first-person shooter. I feel as though this is really obvious. And I feel as though these are digital items. Why would you go and spend real money on something that is digital? You are paying an admission fee to use an item in a game. That's what you're doing. It's not, I own this. You don't own it per se. You're just using it. Right? It's in the game. You're just paying to unlock it to then use it. There's no way of getting some of these sets without money, which is a pain point in the game. So that's my philosophy on armor, is that it doesn't really matter once you have so many armor pieces unlocked on your class. So get to farming is the answer for you. But everyone is different and you will spend silver on that new armor set, that Witcher set, that God of War set, or whatever it might be. Right? So that's my take on that with the Bright Dust and everything. I will just show you though actively how Brightest has actively gotten worse over the years, and my account can showcase this to you. I'm going to show you a classic example. So if we go to ships, let's go to ships. So we can see, we can actively track this. It's in the game to show it. So when Destiny 2 first came out between 2017 and 2018, they were throttling XP, which meant you were getting less Eververse engrams. But the loot pool was that small during that time that you could own everything. I remember owning 99% of all items, cosmetic wise, during that year because of how the system worked. In actual fact, it was better then for Bright Dust than it is now. And that's me saying that with 110k. I remember sitting on 50k Bright Dust with everything owned. So I had everything owned and I had 50k Bright Dust. Isn't that insane? So I'm going to show you. Look, Season 1, Destiny 2 comes out. I have all exotic sparrows. I have pretty much everything apart from the green sparrows. Okay, good. Season 2, I have all exotic sparrows and pretty much all of these as well. Season 3, I have all sparrows apart from one. Season 4, I have all sparrows apart from one. Sparrows, ships, sorry, apart from two. Season 5, I'm missing Platinum Sterling. That's my fault because you could actually get it not via Eververse. So actually, that's my fault for not doing the crafting, the Black Armory thing. But look at my collections. It's looking good so far. Season 6, right now we start to see where I'm missing a couple of items. Right, then Season 7, I have a full house. Season 8, full house. Season 9, there was one ship. Season 10, I have everything. Season 11, everything. Season 12, everything. Season 13, this is where things change because the loot pool gets that big. The Eververse engram drop rate is different, and the items that you're getting are just giving you duplicates. We're just getting duplicates from these Eververse engrams and not ever getting what we actually want. Right? Then it gets worse. Season 14. Season 15, I only own 3 ships. Season 16, I'm missing 3 exotic ships. Season 17, I'm missing 5 ships. Right? Season 18, I only own half, if that. Season 19, I have 1 ship. Season 22, Season 21, 1. Season 22, 0. How can I have 0? I play the game. Season 23, 0. So do you see how the game has progressively got worse for drop rates via the engrams? You can actively see that and use my account as an example because I've played continuously through these seasons. I haven't really skipped. There might be the odd season I've slightly skipped, but that was sort of back end like 15, 16, I think. But I haven't skipped any of these seasons. I haven't got any ships. Why? They're all Eververse source. They're all Eververse source. Why? Because they're silver-based exclusive. This is what I'm saying. And that's an example of showing you that the whole Brighter system has progressively gotten worse over the years. But I have showed you how you can stockpile it. Like I say, just spend less than what you get. But be aware of what you do get per season. That was the video on that. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.